Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to this workshop where we are exploring why you should start before you are ready. If you can hear me loud and clear, please type in the comment section. Let me know that you can hear me. Let me know that you can hear me. I'm going to put off the music soon, but let me know that you can hear me. Who's there? Knock, knock, who's there? My people need to know that I am a person, right? So even if it's one person that is here, it means that it's that one person that needs to be in this class right now. So this one person watching me right now, I appreciate you. I celebrate you and I'm here for you, okay? So just communicate with me in the comments. Let me know if you can hear me clearly before I go on. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Anybody there? Let me communicate with me. Let me know you can hear me so that I don't go talking and yapping away and nobody will hear what I'll say. Like my sound could be off. So I need that feedback. I just need one word from you to say, yes, I can hear you. And then we take it away. All right? Please talk to me. If you can hear me, talk to me, because if you can't, I need to know that you can hear me. Please. I need to know that you can hear me. I need to know that you can hear me. Please talk to me. Talk to me. Please talk to me. Let me know that you can hear me. Let me know that you can hear me. Let me know that you can hear me. I cannot see your comment. So can you hear me so that it won't look like I'm just talking? And because if I'm talking now and you cannot hear me, that means that you cannot hear me. But if you can hear me, can you please type in the comment section that you can hear me so that we can move on? Please. Please. Oh, finally. Thank you so much, Adeosun Bukola. God bless you. I mean, you're not even on video. You are shy. Hey, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not what. Okay, let me pause the music so that you can hear me clearly. Awesome stuff. Okay. Yes, Susan Jasper. Hi, Susan. How are you? Thank you for being here. I see you guys. So please just type in the comment section, just say hi to me. Let me know you're here. Thank you for being a part of this workshop. Thank you so much. Okay, so I do not want to waste your time at all. And I am just going to go into it right away. So we are covering the topic, why you should start, or why is it important for you to start before you are ready. And to be honest with you, this is not a session that is exclusive to podcasting, even though I want to plug it into my podcasting talk, because this is what I'm covering. This is the area I'm focusing on for the rest of 2022. So when you hear podcast, you hear energetic kid. When you hear energetic kid, you hear podcast. You say, you can even say energetic key podcast. Right? So this is my area of focus for the rest of 2022. So that's the angle I'm plugging it into. But I realized that it's not just about podcasting, right? There are a couple of things that you want to start. It could be a business. It could be an habit. Like you want to start a new habit, right? Maybe you want to start working out, or you want to start eating healthy, or you want to go vegan, right? But there's just something that you want to start. Hi, Mary. Thank you for the feedback. I appreciate you. Right. So there's something you want to start, but you're like calculating, I need this, I need that, this needs to be done, this needs to be done. And there is nothing wrong with, doing your due diligence, um how do they say, dotting the i's and crossing the t's. There is nothing wrong with that. But some of us now get into that spiral of looking for the thing, the one thing that will make it perfect, the one thing that will make it perfect, the one thing, and then we just spiral on to like, I beg, this is not going to work, I'm tired, and we just eventually give up. So that's why I want to explore this topic, right? And so, like I said, I'm going to plug it into the podcasting because I am saying, see, this tool called podcasting, if you really leverage it, you are setting yourself up for global visibility, but you're also setting yourself up for what's the word I'm looking for now, um for success, because it's a platform, it's a tool that you can use to position, whether you're a solopreneur or you're a business person or you're a career person or you are what other category do we have, right? So that's why I thought this topic is important and it's going to help a lot of people. uh there is no sound. You see why I need there is no sound. You see why I need the feedback. Please, guys, is this true for everyone? Can you hear me? Mary says there is no sound. Is this the same for you, Susan, Bukola? Please confirm for me. Can you hear me, please? I don't want to have to go into the session and talking and do a lot of these things. Okay, Jewel says, I can hear you loud and clear. Fantastic. Thank you so much for that feedback. Okay. My chest that flew away. Oh my God, what's going on here? Okay. Thank you. Okay, thank you, Susan. Thank you. All right, let me just get into it. I don't want to yap away, and I don't want to keep this long. We're going to keep it short, sweet, and smooth. I was going to say sexy. Okay, so why is it important for you to start before you are ready? Like you've been waiting for so long, waiting for the perfect time, for the perfect ingredient, for that one thing. No, once my child, this my last born, once he goes off to school, I'll start. Mm-mm. Once my husband finishes this his last course, he's doing his masters now. Once he finishes his masters, I'm going to start. No, I'm currently running a course. Once I finish this particular course, I will start. How many of those terms or excuses have you been giving yourself? Most of us are stuck in the perpetual mode of waiting, everyone waiting for exact perfect moment to finally pull the trigger and get started. It's a huge mistake. The best time that you could have done that thing or started that thing was 10 years ago or 5 years ago. And the next best time is now. You've heard that phrase over and over and over again. And I'm saying it again. Okay. The best time to start is now. Okay. So let us consider what are these things? What are these ideas that you can begin to act on, that you can begin to consider so that you can make plans and you can move forward, move past waiting for the perfect timing? Number one, you will never be ready. Capish? That's the simple truth. You will never be ready. Okay? You'll never be ready. So, what do you then do? Because if you wait until you're ready, you will still be waiting till thy kingdom come. And you're not Methuselah. We don't have time like Methuselah, right? So you will never be ready. Okay? So do what's the first step? What's the first step? That's all that you need to know. What is the first step to that stuff you want to do? And I can almost vouch 90% of you already know the first thing that you should do. You already have it figured out, but you are now gone maybe like 20 steps ahead and you're worried about that 20 step. Can you calm down a bit and focus on the first step that you already have access to, that you already have the knowledge of, right? So, what is the first step? That is what you need. You need the first step. Do it and you figure out the rest along the way. I know it sounds scary. It sounds like, well, this is all motivational talk, but you try it out. It's like working, like, I mean, you've seen that It's like an image, or like what do they call those things? There's a word they call all those designs that they like a meme, yeah, where you see the first step, the steps, and then the stairs, and then you will not see the end of it. But the truth is, as you climb, the other end that you cannot see begins to become clearer. So you only need to see one step at a time. So what step are you in? I want to bet with you that the reason you've not started is not because you have not even gotten 1 to 5 steps that you can take, or 1 to 5 things that you can do to achieve your goal or to get close to your goal, but you're probably extending, or you're overthinking it, you're over analyzing it until the 20th step, and you're getting frustrated onto how you cannot even figure out what the 20th step would be when you already have 1 to 5 steps that you've not even done anything about. So the first thing that you can do for yourself to start before you're ready, know the first step and then take it from there. Just take action. Just do it. All right. Number two is the perfect time will never happen. Number one, you will never be ready. Number two, the perfect time will never happen. We are not perfect. The world is imperfect. So there is nothing as perfect. There is nothing called perfect. So there will never be a perfect time. It will never happen. You'll be waiting until forever. There will never be a good time to get started. So there will be, otherwise you just be making the same excuses over and over again. Or everything cannot align at the same time. So maybe you are saying if your child goes to school, what if that moment that your child goes to school, something else comes up that you're unable to? It's like one thing that we fail to forget or recognize is you might never get less busier than you are right now. Think about it. There are times that you thought, you know what, I'm going to go off. I'm going to just go on a break. I'm going to cut off in the next, I'm going to cut off after this month, like this month now, next month, I'm going to cut off. And then next month, something very important shows up that it is impossible for you to shut down like the way you want to shut down. Okay? Like the way you want to shut down. So the solution is now, okay, where you are now, if you are thinking, so for example, I don't know if this happens to you, but sometimes I just feel like overwhelmed, and I'm like, I'm tired, like I'm tired. I just want to disappear. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to think. I don't want to worry. I don't want to envision. I don't want to plan. I don't want to have any goal. I don't want to do anything. I'm tired, and I'm telling myself, you know what? At the end of this month, I'm just going to go off for a full month, and I'll just lock up, my dear. Hmm. Don't even try it. I think I tried that once. But I think I tried that once. What was it I wanted to do? I wanted to do something, and I just switched like that. One full more, boom! I started going, ba 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 ba. The thing was shocking me. I was doing it. I was feeling myself. After that 1 month, the moment I had one break in between, it went it went like when you are stacking. I don't know if you see that video when you're stacking up cups, all these paper cups, right? And you have built a whole mountain of it, and one thing, pew, just touch the one on the top, and everything that you built just come crumbling. It's the same feeling I had, the adrenaline I had at the beginning. Why? Because I waited and said, oh, I'm just going to do this, boom. It doesn't really work that way. So let's say you're saying you want to go on break. You're tired. You're give me a second. Right? You're tired and you're like you need to go on a break. Rather than plan ahead and say or tell yourself or be giving yourself excuse like, oh, next month will be a perfect time. It might not be perfect. You don't know what next month holds for you. So what can you do today? That time you have, create 30 minutes that you will lock down, that you will shut down, that you will just be not doing anything, just you and yourself. So imagine if you're able to wire 30 minutes, even if it's 30 minutes in twice a week. Do you know how many hours that would amount to at the end of the month? 30 minutes twice a week. At least that's like 4 hours in a month, right? At least you would have had 4 hours of solitude, of you just not doing anything, rather than you planning for to go on 1 month break or 2 weeks break or 1 week full break. I'll cut off, I'll do anything. What if that does not happen? So there will never be a perfect time. So just do what you have to do now. Work with the time that you have now. Today is the only time you have. Today is the only time you have. So what can you do today? No matter how tiny it is, that will push you closer to that thing that you want to do. That would help you move closer to starting that thing that you want to start. The most perfect time you are going to get is right now. So don't procrastinate. Don't wait for the perfect time. It is just robbing you of the opportunity to start that thing you want to start. Number three is the sooner you get started, the sooner you can be successful. Ask yourself, you said you were going to start this thing 6 months ago, which was 31st December 2021. Check your calendar. It's already almost the end of August and you still not started. You still not done it because you were waiting for the perfect time. Because you're feeling like I'm not ready. This one I've not got. There's one more course that I need to do. There is one more thing that I need to do. 6 months has gone. This is the 8th month of the year. This is the 8th month of the year. But the sooner you get started, but imagine if you had started that January 1st or January of this year. Do you know, even if you were crawling or you were sleeping gently, you would have made some level of progress. I remembered, in last so I think I was a part of a program with John Obidi in December. So we crossed over through that program. We crossed over into the year already at about, I think maybe like the last week of December. We already did our own crossover. We already did our goal setting, goal mapping, and all of those things. So we're already in the new year, executing on things that we want to do for the new year, right? And one of the things, I think it was this year, it was this January that I started. Was it this January that I started? I think so. Yeah, I think it was this January that I started The Woman, Her Story, Her Impact. That I started to segment the podcast. Maybe this year or maybe last year, but there was something I decided to start doing, this year. And look at me now, 8 months in, at least I've made progress. In these 8 months, I have evaluated, I've gone on a break from my podcast for like a month and evaluated. So I think, yeah, when I wanted to come into this year, I decided that okay, I want my podcast to be able to empower other people as well. So I have people who I know are interested in podcasting, but it's a lot of work. Podcasting is a lot of work, so you have to really be ready for it. So, but there are people who have the content, but they don't really have the time, or they don't really just want to sit with it to do all the back end production and everything. So I'm like, okay, how about I make my podcast a platform where you can still express yourself without having to worry too much about the back end work. I love it. I love every bit of it, both the back end and the front end. I love to be in front of the screen like this. I love to be heard. I love to be seen, but I also love to edit, to think about the concept of the show, or to think about, or to come up with, this this guest, what angle would I like to discuss about? Think about it. I love every bit of it, right? And so I decided to say, hi, Glory. Thank you for joining, right? So I decided to say, okay, you know what? Let me have those people join and let's see how we can work together collaborating. And we started, but it was apparent that it's not a priority for them. And I already told myself that, see, podcasting for me is not just content. And it's not just me just doing it because everybody's doing it. No, it is more than that for me. Yes, I remember what it was that I wanted to do. It was in this year, January this year, that I got that. I got that. Good evening, Mama Mary. Thank you for joining. I caught that vision again. So if you've heard my story bits and bits here, you will know that in 2015, I caught the vision of starting an audiobook platform for African authors to help African authors leave a digital footprint in the audiobook space. So I wanted to help African authors convert their books into audio. It was so strong. I so much believed in it. I dived into it with all my passion and everything. But even though I didn't have enough idea about business and all of those things, right? But in the process of doing all of those things with passion, I wasn't getting the responses that I wanted from the authors themselves, from my staff, from the people that I have to work with. I wasn't getting that same energy. And so it dwindled. And because it was just me catching it, like, oh, what's going on here? Okay, I was trying a lot of things, but because I wasn't getting that, responses, I started to waver in the way that I saw the vision, in the way that I was staying focused from the beginning. If I had just continued, JJ and JJ me, I continued to stay focused, to follow the dream, because when we started in 2015, the projection was that 5 years from then, we should have at least produced 5,000 work for African authors. And we were not even thinking of charging or anything. We just needed people to buy into the idea, work together and create these things, right? But because I wasn't getting the responses, I started to shift focus. My focus started to shift. So I started to look for, what will make it work? What will make it work? Let's try this. Let's try that. Let's do this, without focusing, without keeping my goal in mind, without keeping it in mind that, see, this is what you want to do, 5,000 book in 5 years. It would have been possible, because at that time I even broke it down to say, okay, if we're looking for 5,000 book in 5 years, how many books do we do in 1 year? If we do how many books in 1 year, how many books do we need to do in 1 month? If we do how many books in 1 month, how many books do we need to do in 1 week? I had that at some point, but because of the discouragement here and there, I lost focus and it dwindled. Only for 2020 to come, and it was the perfect time that I would have blown. The same way Zoom has been in existence. I've been using Zoom since like 2014, 2015. Do you understand? But COVID came, and then boom, everybody started using Zoom. Everybody went online during COVID, because that was the only way we could connect. That was the only way we could stay connected. And that was when a lot of businesses that had already established their online presence began to explode. And Mixing Fun Books would have exploded too, because people, if we now became COVID made us become a even global world, because everybody was now reaching out to everybody. It was in that period that everybody let their guards down, that you were able to connect with anybody from anywhere. You could reach even the stars and they would respond to you in their DMs, because everybody just needed to stay relevant, needed to stay connected to humanity. And check that out. If I had kept my dream, or I had focused on my goal since then, even if I had not hit 5,000 books, at least if I had stayed consistent for those years, I would have at least maybe hit like 2,000. And imagine pushing all the traffic that was online during COVID to that website. Say, oh yeah, go and listen to African audiobook. Go and listen, because at that point, even the authors themselves that did not want to push their books in the beginning, they would have started to push their books at that point, because everybody was online. And that would have counted for something. So when that happened, when 2020 came and it became clear what the plan was from beginning, and I missed it, it was so painful. I felt like a failure. I felt like I'd failed God. And it was just so devastating for me, coupled with the isolation and the disconnect from family and all of that. It was a tough year for all of us, right? So it was this year again that kind of feeling that I had, that kind of, when you feel like, this thing, I know it. I might not even be able to explain it with words, but I know it. Was when it came to me again so clearly. It felt like it felt like I heard God directly, second chance for you, Ejiro. And was that, see, podcasting is an industry that is growing fast in the rest of the world, in the Western world and everything, right? But when you look at the statistics, there's nothing much to talk about in Africa. So they just grouped it Middle East and Africa. And even the whole Middle East and Africa, there isn't substantial statistics. There isn't substantial data to say that, okay, this industry is thriving here, but it's thriving in the Western world, it's thriving in Asia. I think as at last year or 2020, Asia, I think China or Japan, one of those two, China, Japan, or Singapore, I can't remember the precise one now, was the biggest market for podcasting. Do you understand? So this year, I got it that, Ejiro, this is a second chance I'm giving you. Don't blow it. So this time around, I'm like, see, God, I know go, God, thank you for this second chance. Whether it is you ahead, I be it's myself that I'm hearing, I will act on this. I will stick with it. I will walk it. I will walk it. I will keep shouting it. I will keep doing it. to see, because I don't even want to regret. There is no pleasure in regrets. There is no pleasure in regrets. See, you rather try a thing and fail and know, okay, I tried, I did all I could. But even in that seemingly failure, you would have learned something. You would have learned something. You yourself would have become a better person. Because if you failed, for example, you will become better at decision making. You will become better at discerning. You will become better at analyzing things. Do you understand? So it never a waste when you try something else. Never. If the thing does not work, you are working, you are learning, you are growing. Do you understand? So when he came to me again this year, I said, this podcast thing, we sit here, we live here, because I feel that there's going to be a movement towards indigenous content. There's going to be a movement towards this market. There's going to be a movement towards the African and the Middle East and African markets when it comes to podcasting. Like, do you know how many almost 2 million podcasts. The podcast episode was released in 2020, 2021, and it keeps increasing. Since 2017 or so, podcasting industry has been increasing 25% every year. As in, it's increasing, it's going like this. And the forecast is like till 2025, 2027, it's still going up. Do you understand? And Africa, Middle East, they don't have a share in that yet. So my own job here, I am like he that cry in the wilderness. Prepare ye the way of the podcasters. Prepare ye the way of indigenous content. My African people, wake up and start to tell your stories. And who says you must tell it in English? Now, not they see BBC. Do you watch BBC Pidgin? Do you watch BBC Yoruba? Do you watch BBC Igbo? They are looking for indigenous content. So who says your podcast must be in English language? Can we use this tool that is called podcasting that can help us reach the whole of the world? Can we use it to portray our stories positively? Can we use it to tell our stories positively? Can we position to change the narrative for ourselves, even in our rural areas? Can we begin to tell the stories of people, of heroes, the unsung heroes? Can we begin to tell them? Can we begin to showcase them to the rest of the world? Can we begin to use this tool called podcasting to do that? And so that's why you see me. I'm sold out to it. I don't care. If it's one person that signs up for my class, it means that it's that one person that needed to catch that vision at that point and to start running with it. Okay? So, how did we get here? I'm so sorry. Am I shouting? I'm sorry. It's not my fault. I'm just passionate. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shout. I'm sorry. Right? I'm so sorry. But what I'm trying to say, the sooner you get started, the sooner you become successful. The advantages of getting started now are so much. All the people that you see today that are making waves, check out one thing that stood all of them out. One thing that is common with all of them. They started early. They started early. Okay, so if you cannot start now, if you think you are too old, if you think you don't have anything, you don't have talent, maybe you have children, maybe you have younger ones, you have cousins, you have nephews, you have nieces that they're already, like, they have energy to dispense. They're already on the internet. So rather than them scrolling aimlessly on the internet, consuming content, can we begin to teach them, guide them, push them, not shove them, direct them, nudge them to becoming creators and not just consumers? Can we? If you think you are too old for it, it's okay. But do you have one young person around you that you can begin to infuse that idea into them that they also have to create? It's okay to be on social media, but don't be there to just be consuming. How? Only you won't go sit down on social media, just they watch. You know all the gist that is going on all the gist. I don't even know their names of all those Instagram handle that carry hot gist. You know all the gist. But when we check your own page, not single. If you even put something there, maybe it's 1 year ago, or when you put something there, it's somebody else's content. Maybe you reposted something, or you just put one quote there. Can you become a creator too? This is what is killing us in Africa. We just want to chop, consume. We don't want to create. This is an opportunity for us to start to create. This is an opportunity for us to, even if you're asking yourself, I don't know what to talk about. Can you Look at something in your area. What is that thing that aggravates you? What is that thing that annoys you? Every time that you see it, it annoys you. Maybe every time you see children that are not going to school, they are hawking on the streets. It angers you from the inside out. What can you begin to do to serve the parents of those child, also those children, to say, see, yes, I know the country is hard. I know things are hard, but how can we educate these children, even if it's not in the four walls of a school? How can we put some? You can become an activist for a cause around your area and using podcasting, just putting your content out there, talking about it. One day, another person will see it and say, I support this cause. Let's do it together. Because even as you put out those content, when you begin to put out the content that burns in your heart, even you begin to look out for people who are saying the same thing and find a way to connect with them, to be in a community of like-minded people. And that's why I'm also creating a community. So for me, my classes, my courses, my challenges, they are not just to do the challenge and go. No, 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 no. I am building a community with it. I want like-minded people. I want fellow creators, so that when ideas come, I have people to rub minds with. I don't want to be a lone ranger. I am not a Liverpool. I don't. Okay, no. Liverpool is never work alone. Yeah, I don't want to work alone. I don't want to work alone. So the earlier you start, the earlier you're able to succeed. The sooner you begin any journey, the sooner you reach your destination. Number 4, your natural tendency is to wait too long. We always wait for too long. When is the last time you did something too soon? Like you just made up your mind and you acted on it. You just set a goal right now and you hit it, boom, done. Next. When last did you do that? Or every time you have to sit, calculate, check it out, analyze. You analyze until your analysis become paralysis and you're unable to do anything. You caught an idea, you caught something, like sometimes you even go ahead and write it down. That's where it ends. If you go and look at your books that you've been writing ideas, you will just look at those ideas and you'll be crying. Say, eh, this all these ideas have passed through me and none of them have seen the light of the day. Then what will now happen to you is you will now see something that came to you. You saw it so clearly. In fact, you are planning to do it. But you just look around, you turn around and you see like 5 different people doing the exact same thing. And you begin to wonder. Say, I think this exact same thing. Yes, you thought it, because when those idea comes, they are released into the air. So different people can plug into it and catch it. But the people who gain from those ideas, the people who execute. What are you doing about your ideas? Why are you stalling? Why? Why are you waiting for too long? You've waited enough. Just start. Do it. Do it. We can't know everything. Life sometimes it unfolds. It's unpredictable. You cannot know everything. So the one you know, work with what you know. And as you grow, yes, sometimes it will work, sometimes it will not work. But again, no experience is wasted. Besides, you know more than enough to get started. So listen to Nike. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. So, 4, the natural tendency is to wait for too long. Number 5, your natural tendency is to value information too much. How many courses you don't do for this life? How many courses have you done? You know a lot. You know enough. The one you know is enough, at least to start. What you know is enough for you to start. So start. Stop stalling. Let me feel the pulse of the room, please. Are we following? Please, so far, can you drop something that has jumped at you, please? Interact with me. I don't just. This is not. It's not radio where you cannot speak back to me. At least you can chat with me. So please, let me feel your pulse. What is coming to mind? Share your thought with me. Share your thoughts with me in the comments, please. Let's engage. Let's engage. Are you with me? Am I speaking to you? Am I speaking a language that you understand? Is it making sense to you? Please talk to me. Yeah, Mama Mary says, I would just do it. Absolutely. 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 You have what it takes. Yes, you need a laptop to do whatever it is you want to do, but you have a phone. You can start with that phone and do whatever it is you want to do on your way to getting a laptop. So you can do it. You have enough. Like John Obidi would always say, what you have is enough. You use that which you have, for that which you have is enough. Is enough. Is enough. All right. So it's like it's only Madam Mary that is listening to me. All the other people, you just left it on. I went to go and play Abby. Or you're cooking. You're in the kitchen. And so you can't respond now. Okay. Jewels and Pearl Lady says our natural stance is to overthink it. Absolutely. Absolutely. But it doesn't have to be that way. You have to know the first step. The best time to start is now. You can just go ahead. Stop overthinking it. Stop overthinking it. Thank you so much, Madam Mary. Thank you, Jewel and Pearls ladies. Thank you so much for that feedback. I'm just going to go ahead because I don't want to keep us waiting for too long because I'm going to round up soon. Right? So, says number 5, your natural tendency is to value information too much. We want to know everything there is to know before we take the first step. You can't know everything. You can't. You cannot. So don't even try. You can't. Just start. The little you know is good enough. Yes. What you know, thank you, Susan. What you know is enough for you to start. Yes. Yes, yes, absolutely. Number 6, the most successful people make decisions quickly and stick with them. This one is so true. Go and check all the people that are getting stuff done. Go and check all the people that are making waves. Go and check all the people that are acing their goals. Go and check all the people that are just pa pa pa. You'll be seeing them everywhere. You'll be wondering, what's all this now? Is it only you who are is agitating you because you know you have the same strength and energy. You could do more than them, but you are not doing it. It's paining you. It's paining you. Why is it paining you? Let it stop paining you. Or let that pain push you to start to take your own action and to start doing this. Decide quickly. Decide, okay, is it podcasting you want to do? Do it. If it's not podcasting, oh yeah, what's the next thing? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Maybe, but I can't think I'm again. mm, let me just think over it again. No, let me talk to my I need to talk to my husband. Because he needs to give me go ahead. Then my elder sister too. You know, she's very good at this. So let me consult with her too. That's how you be consulting up and down. You're not why you're not a consultant. Eh? Nemeka says, I overthink things definitely. I'm already seeing people doing the same thing I've been thinking. I they tell you. And it's not a good feeling over a period of time. If you continue to do that over a period of time, you numb yourself. Even your mind will just start shutting down ideas. They won't flow again because you don't understand. We are such powerful beings. We are such beautiful beings. Like you don't understand. You cannot see you finish. You cannot see you finish. You cannot exhaust the amazingness that you are. You cannot exhaust the awesomeness that you are. Do you even know who you are? Yes, you know what you know right now. But do you know what can still come out of you if only you take the step? Stop overthinking things. So, the most successful people make decisions quickly and stick with them. The least successful people are terrible at making up their minds. You, I'm guilty of this one sometimes, so because if you ask me now, what will you eat? You have wounded me. You have wounded me when you say, EJ, what will you eat? Oh God, unless I have thought about it before, that question will just throw me off guard. But if I see food now, I will eat. I don't mind. I don't select food. I'm not allergic. Even the one that I think I'm lactose intolerant, but I don't care. I will still drink milk. I will still chop cheese when the day I feel like chopping cheese. You understand? Last, now mess going down. But that indecision, You're not do just think it and just do it for once. For once, as the idea come, execute on it for once. Try it out just once. Just once. Try it out. Try it out and stop stalling. Right? So they make their decision quickly. They make their decision quickly. The people who are not successful, they are eternally conflicted for a variety of reasons. For a variety of reasons. But when you dig deep to find out what that reason is, it is fear. It is fear. That's the reason yesterday I was asking on the group, what is your biggest fear? What is your biggest fear? Some people say it's the fear of rejection. I understand. But do you remember that there's somebody that said no to you last year? But somehow, that person has come back to you now. I don't know if you have experienced that before. So the no that they said is not about you, it's about them. So if somebody tells you no, it is their business, it's not you. So why are you holding on to that and being fearful? Like, will they accept me? Would it make sense? If it won't make sense, it will not even cross your mind. Do you know who you are? You were created in God's image. Can God think nonsense? God cannot think nonsense. So whatever it is that is bringing to your own mind, it cannot be nonsense. It cannot be nonsense. Maybe you did not interpret it well, oh. Maybe you did not download it well, oh. But if you sit with it very well, it cannot be nonsense. It cannot be it is impossible for God to lie. It is impossible for it to be nonsense. You just probably are looking at it from the wrong angle. So what you now need to do is look at it from different perspective and see which perspective works best per time. Fear of failing, not being consistent, fear of acceptance. Fear, what is failure? Really? What is failure? Failure is feedback. Simple feedback telling you, okay, you probably don't know enough. So now you've gotten it up to this place. Go back, learn the thing that will make you pass this place to this place. Simple. And have you not heard that the day you stop learning is the day you start dying? Like the day you start deteriorating, because actually all of us are dying. We are dying. Yes, please snap your hands away from fear. What exactly are you afraid of? What? That people will laugh at you? Are you the first person to be laughed at? In fact, if that's the case, that where people will laugh at you, start laughing at yourself. Have you not noticed that most of the time that you have accepted your fate and laughed at yourself, nobody else can laugh at you that it will pain you. Do you know for how long I felt very uncomfortable? See my hands. Since I grew up, since I became knowledgeable, I've been using all types of creams just to remove these wrinkles on my hand. But this thing not great change. I'll feel uncomfortable sometimes. But the moment I say, I beg you, now waiting it be. If you look at my hand, think I'm old. If you look at my face and think I'm young, I'm young. I cannot shout. I cannot be explaining. I cannot come and kill myself and die away. No. Do you understand? So life goes on. Does it change the value that I carry? No. Does it change my personality? No. It is just one clause. Now. And now I'm gonna flaunt it. If you don't like it, move past me. It means say me and you not supposed to meet in the first place. It means say me and you not supposed to connect in the first, because if you look at me and it's my skin or my dry skin that will not make you relate with me because you are fresher than me. Ungwanu, Biko, pack your freshness and walk away. I don't want to see you. Get out. Do you understand? So what exactly? Don't let it hold you back. Snap yourself from it. See, most times the things that we are afraid of is afraid of us. And most times the things when we are afraid, it's a sign that there is something there. There is something there for you, but it's just behind that fear. So the fear is doing you body, it's doing you, if you come near, I go wound you, but you try, come near, it will give way and you will get to where you're going to. So don't allow fear stop you anymore. Moving on quickly. Bless you, I too like gist, we could no vex, right? So a decent decision Made quickly. Let me, this is a quote, says, a decent decision made quickly that you stick with is better than a great decision a year from now that you can't maintain. Write that down. Write that down. A decent decision made quickly that you stick with is better than a great decision a year from now that you can't maintain. In a year, are you listening? Are you hearing me? So make the decision. Let the decision not be the best, but make your decision and act on it. Learn. If you make a mistake, learn from the mistake and move on. They said whoever does not make a mistake means the person has not tried anything. So if you're afraid, so last was 2 weeks ago now. 2 weeks ago, I had a family, come over to Dubai for holiday, and I got to spend time with the family. So on, I think 2 Sundays ago, after church service, we went home. I went home with them and all of that, and then we went for um skating. So there's this ice rink in Dubai Mall, where people can skate. That was the first time that I was skating. You know, I was I was so I was so afraid. As in, I did not want to fall at all. And I've never skated before. I did not want to fall at all. Because of that, it didn't really make me enjoy the whole experience. Like, the point is, if you dey ride bicycle, if you want to learn how to ride bicycle and you're afraid of falling, you will not learn. No. If you want to learn how to drive and you're afraid of bashing things, you will not learn. No. Do you understand? If you want to learn how to swim, if you want to learn how to swim and you're afraid of water, you will not learn. You will not learn. So make that decision. Yes, a decent decision made quickly that you stick to is way better than a great decision that you make a year from now and you're unable to maintain it. So make your decision. Let the decision be decent. That's what you say the clause there is decent enough. That means it is okay, it is sound. It might not be the greatest, it might not be the most brilliant, it might not be the most creative, but it is decent. It makes sense to you at that point. Just go with it. Go with it. Go with it. All right? Go with it. So then you need to now train yourself to practice making decisions quickly and moving forward with them. It's hard, but you can do it. If you practice it. What you do when you practice it is you now become good at making better decisions. But you start with nonsense decision first, and it's okay. That's the sweetness of growth. That is growth for you. There's no growth without pain. None. Check your child. When you for the moms here, check your child. When they wanted to start teething, do you know the pains they went through? Hot body, stooling every time, unable to sleep, always crying, very uncomfortable. But after the teeth come out, that'll be your nipples, they first test them. It's on your nipples that they first of all to test it. Do you understand? But there's no pain without growth. There's no pain. Oh, there's no growth. There's no growth without pain, right? So you might as well just practice making decisions quickly and move with them, whether they are good or not. Where if it turns out bad, pick the lessons, move on. If it turns out great, you are enforcing your ability to make sound decisions. Number 7, the sooner that you take action, the more you will learn. The sooner that you take action, the more you will learn. Action leads to results. See, this one I struggle with, right? I struggle with, and I'm currently a recovering. The truth is, I feel like I'm selective in that case because there are things that I don't like. I don't think it. The idea come, I they act on them immediately. I they execute them. If you work, you work. If you no work, oh yeah, next we move on. Do you understand? But there are some areas that I still hesitate and I don't take action. And it's still those areas I'm unable to learn because by wiring, I am an experiential learner. You see this class I'm having now with you guys. As I'm teaching, as I'm talking, I am learning. As I'm involved in it, I am learning. So I am an experiential learner. I have to experience it for it to stick. I don't know if anybody's like that here, but you wouldn't know. You might be like that and you don't know. And you just be reading, 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 reading. Meanwhile, you have read. As you read, do. As you read, do. When you do it, if you know work, you go back and read it again and do. And that's what I did with my book, Podcasting with a Difference. That book is a guide that you don't even need to sit. It's not the kind of book that you will sit down and read and be flipping. Oh, wow, interesting. Okay. Nah, this age you they try. Oh. Correct, babe. No, 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 no. That's not the kind of book I wrote. The kind of book I wrote is the book that you will read. Chapter one, okay, take. All right, this chapter one now, okay. If I will apply it to myself, why do I want to start a podcast? Okay, why? Write it down. Okay. So how many times will I be publishing my podcast every now? Maybe twice a week, but which day of the week? See, that's the kind of book I wrote. You see, so when you take action, and get results, that action sticks. You know how you got that result sticks. So for those of you who have gone through my class before, if you're here, the podcasting, especially the challenge, the first time I introduced you to editing, it felt like, hey, Jiro, this thing is too much, oh, it's too much work. Oh, what is all this now? I didn't sign up for this. Look at you. Today, now you are the one telling other people in the community that if you are too busy. I saw that comment in our WhatsApp group. I was laughing, but I was also proud. People were like, oh my God, this thing is too much work. I don't have time to come and edit. I've recorded plenty episodes, but I've not edited it. Somebody's like, oh my, if you don't have time, just bring it. I'll help you edit. I'll charge you. That is it. But when I first introduced editing, it felt like, it's too much work. But somebody has edited once, they've fallen in love with it. Like, this thing is sweet. Oh, you understand when you're able to create something new out of something old, it is sweet. You record one thing and then you work on it, you add something, you add this, you come out something, it's like fixing a puzzle and create. It's like somebody giving you a play sheet and you now fold it. When you do origami, you now fold it to create maybe like a bird or an hexagon or a plane. Do you understand? That's what editing is. You take the raw files and then you clean it up, you remove this, you add this, it's sweet. It's sweet. Do you understand? It's not all of us that will love it, but it's part of the process for all of us. So we all learn it, right? But if you don't take that action and you don't do what I tell you, you might not be able to get that result. But once you've gotten that result, you've learned it. It sticks with you. You cannot apply it to other things outside of podcasting. All right? So action leads to results. You learn something each time you get a result. If you're not producing any results if you are sitting down not doing anything, you're not producing results, right? But when you do something, you're producing results, and when you produce results, you are learning. All right. Number 8, action leads to inspiration. For those who have finally launched their podcast, they are inspired even on days that they miss maybe to publish an episode, which would happen. It still happens to me. There are times that I will just be like blank, like absolutely blank. Like I have content. I have recorded episodes since, but to edit it's not even doing me at all. I'm just tired. I'm just tired. I beg, I can't kill myself. It might not be that the night before it's supposed to go the night before it's supposed to publish, that's when my whole brain will come together and I'll now have to stay up all night editing so that I'll meet up with the publishing date. But even sometimes I still don't meet up. I'll just leave it. I beg, I cannot kill myself. Those days would come. But when you think about the results you're getting, when you think about the things you've done, when you think about the comments you get, or the feedback you get. Somebody has come to you, maybe the first episode you released, and the person came to you and say, you see that thing you shared on that your podcast, God bless you, it spoke to me, thank you so much for all that you do. When you remember those things, it will inspire you to do more. It will inspire you on those days that you're tired, your body is weak, but your spirit will be willing, your mind will be willing, and your mind will push you to push your body to get to work, because now it is no longer about you, but there's somebody out there who needs to hear what you have to say. There is a message that you carry that somebody needs. They are hanging on to a thread, and just that word that is going to come from you is what will give them that hope again. When you think about that, then you will put aside your stress, you will put aside your tiredness, and you will go ahead. It would inspire you. Action leads to inspiration. Many people, falsely believe that they will take action when they feel inspired, but the opposite is true, and that's true actually. When you start, inspiration would come. So, why are you waiting? Why are you waiting? I want to put it to you that is fear. You are afraid, and your fear is valid, but you cannot allow your fear to hold you down. You cannot allow your fear to rob you. So imagine this, that this idea, this thing you wanted to start, is an assignment that your creator has given to you. And you now have a call, a debrief meeting with your creator. Or let me not use creator, because when I use creator now, it might be like, you don't see him. So imagine that this is your boss. This idea that you are stalling on, this thing that you want to do, that you are afraid of, whatever fear you have. Imagine it is your boss that asked you to do it, and you're supposed to give a report at the end of the week. Would you say you are afraid of who? Afraid of who that will not make you do the assignment that your boss gave you? How much more God, your creator, the one that is giving you breath to even breathe right now. You're not telling him that I'm afraid. Shey, him that gave you the idea did not know that there was afraid inside of you. Think about the end. I'm currently reading in my mastermind, 7 effective habits of highly effective 7 habits of highly effective people. And habit number 1 is proactivity. Habit number 2 is start with the end in mind. So imagine on your deathbed, would you rather regret the things that you wish you did, the things that were in your heart to do that you did not do, than, or would you rather say, wow, I actually tried everything. Some worked, some didn't work, but I tried all I could. I did all I can. Which one would it be for you? Would it be the pain of regret? I have a friend who volunteers with old people, like an old people home. And every time they gather together to, just cheer these old people up and all of that, and they ask them questions like, what is their greatest regrets in life? What most of them will tell you is not that they don't have money, or they did not have any. No, no, no. Their greatest regret is always that when they had their youths, they didn't do the things that they wanted to do. Now the strength is gone. Their mind might be willing to do it, but their body cannot get them to do it. So now that you're still strong, now that you still have it together, why let fear stop you from doing what you need to do? Wow. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? We already spent 1 hour here. I'm so sorry. So let me just round this up quickly. Let me round this up quickly. So please, if you never get started, there is no real hope of anything getting better. You cannot improve a thing that you've not started. If you never began in the first place, you are not even guaranteed to fail. So what are you afraid of? So what's the fear? You're not doing it now. You're not doing it yet now. So what are you afraid of? So take a deep breath and start today. Today, not tomorrow. You'll never be 100% ready or comfortable. It won't happen. Don't wait for it. If you wait, you wait in vain. So you may as well just start now. Now is the moment to change your life. Just do it. Just do it. So I leave you with this. If podcasting is one of those things that has been tugging at your heart, there is a reason it is tugging at your heart. It is not tugging at the heart of everyone. Some people hear, they hear the podcast every time. Some people even listen, they are diehard fans of podcasts, but it has never, ever crossed their mind that they will be on the other side of the divide, not listening, but actually speaking. Never. And it will never happen. But for you, it is happening. Every time you hear somebody else has launched their podcast, like, and I suppose don't start to, but I'm coming. Every time, like, I suppose don't start to. Sometimes you even see somebody that made a poster that you had in your head. Like, even the name of the person's podcast is exactly what you wanted to do. And now the person has started like, now wow, exactly what I wanted to do, exactly what I have in mind. There is a reason it has not left you. There is a reason it is coming back to you. So my call to you is, let me help you start. That is what the Start Your Podcast Challenge is for, to handhold you, to break it down for you so that you take it step by step in 14 days, step by step, to help you launch. And once you launch and once you sign up for this program, you're already a part of the family. You're already in the community, so that we can then push ourselves together. Like, hey, what's going on? I know you're already lagging. I know you're already dragging, but you cannot give up. Oh yeah, let's resume from wherever we stopped. Right? Let's resume from wherever we stopped. So we'll be able to push each other, encourage each other, support each other as we go on this journey. But beyond that is what I see coming in the future, and just having that community of people who are ready for whatever it is that is going to come for the podcasting industry. So I implore you, if you would like to begin your journey today, please hop on the next cohort of the Start Your Podcast Challenge. We start on Sunday. On Sunday, 21st of August, we will start the next cohort, and it will run through to September 3rd. And by God's grace, I know I'm going to be helping another set of people start their podcast. And my goal really, so let me put it out there so that you know what I'm trying to do here. My goal really is to train 100 people, or to help 100 people start their podcast before the end of 2022. It's a long walk. 100 is a huge number. If you have a hall and you put 100 people there, your event is huge. Right? So if you have a party and you have 100 guests, you know that, okay, I don't try. All right. So yeah. So this is it. So if you want to be a part of that, please jump on it. If you're in the Telegram group, the link is already there. If it's not, if you didn't see it, maybe you joined afterwards and you can't see the old messages, just reach out to me, or I will share the link again for the cohort, for the next cohort. Jump on it. And why should you jump on it now? This particular cohort is different from the rest we've had before. The ones we had before were 7 days. This one is 14 days, so that it gives you more space to be able to sink in. Then in between, we have other guest sessions. So it's not just about podcasting this time, but other angles that would help you even position better. So we're having clarity call, a clarity session where we'll clarify your message. We're going to have communicating effectively, where you help you so that you put your message together so that it will hit the right notes, right? Then we have social media, right? How can you leverage social media to even push this your podcast to the rest of the world, right? So we have all of those extra sessions in between, while we also take you through the step by step of starting your own podcast. So if this is something that you want to pick up, please do click on the link in on the Telegram group and join us. So you can send me a personal message, and I'm going to send you the link so that you can be a part of it. I really, really cannot wait to help you at least achieve this goal. let it come off this list that you've been carrying for so long. Maybe you carry it over from last year to this year. This year is going to an end again. Don't carry it over. Let's help you achieve it. All right. This is where I come to the end of the session. Do we have any questions? I still have 4 people here. If you have any questions, please hit me up with a question, and then before I call it a day. Any question? No? We're good? Okay. I guess there are no questions. Thank you so much for being a part of the session. Feel free to share this link with anyone you think this session today would help. You can share it as much as you can. Just share it around. Let people watch it and be awakened. Yes, that's the word. Thank you for the awakening call. Thank you, Mama Mary. Thank you for being here. Yeah. So, do you mean the link to the work to the challenge, or the link to this video? If it's the link to the challenge, I'm going to share it in the on the Telegram group again. But also, you can always come back to this particular link and share this link with other people so that they can just wake up. This is not just about the podcast at all. There are other things that people want to do that they're just stalling for nothing. So this session is not just for podcasters, but for anyone who has a vision, who has a goal that they're trying to achieve, but they've been stalling on it and not taking action. So feel free to share this link all around. God bless you. Have a fantastic evening and a beautiful, beautiful weekend. See you all. Take care. Bye bye.